Good evening and welcome all of you joining us for tonight's match, Germany versus Italy. It's one of the last matches in the eSailing Nations Cup 2024 for the round robin stage. We still have today, tomorrow, and two matches on Sunday. So we're getting close to the end. This is Oscar, your host, and with me is Alberto. Alberto, how are you doing?
I'm Oscar. I'm amazing. I'm looking for this match because now we will see who is going in the lead on the big part of the event, and that will be an interesting choice and something to see. That it will be amazing.
Yep. And well, both teams still have two matches to go, including this one. So this will be their fifth match, and they still have one more match that's going to be sailed for Germany tomorrow and for Italy on Sunday. Italy currently in fourth in the overall standings with 3 wins and 1 loss, 12 points in total. They are 8 points behind France, currently leading, having finished all their matches, and it's a go for this race for the 2v2 mixed star race, Germany versus Italy. We have Pimpi and 42 on the Italian side, Sailing Me and HSC Christina on the German side. Let's get this started.
It's wonderful to see Christina back. She was one of the strongest female e-sailor back a couple of years ago, and I'm really looking forward to see how Pimpi Anna can fight against her.
Yep, and we see Gansu 200 in the chat. Nice match tonight. Nice match tonight. Sorry. Hope this will be disputed. We're hoping for a show as well. Obviously, it's going to be a big challenge for the Germans to take on the Italians, holder of the title since 2023 for the eSailing Nations Cup. And Chris 17 is 7D predicting a 6-1 in favor of Italy.
I hope Chris is wrong in the matter of the show, but actually it will be really good because Italy need to have a two decisive win if they want to get in the lead of to get the lead of the leaderboard, and so only two decisive win can bring them to the first position and skip them their quarterfinals. And go directly to the semifinals, so the top 4 team in the world.
Yep, and 2 decisive wins is no small feat. And the 2 teams that they're going to go against for the Italians going to be, well, the Germans that we're seeing tonight and the Swiss that we're going to see Sunday evening, as the 2 Italians are the first to round the mark, putting a penalty on HAC Christina. I got to say, this Italian lineup for this duel is a pretty strong one, with 42 being, well, one of the best Italians there is currently. And Pimpi, which a huge experience in both the eSailing Nations Cup, the eSailing World Championship, the steering the course, but as well as being an RO umpire and judge in real life. There's a lot of experience on this Italian side. And also
in eSailing. Also in
eSailing, yeah, absolutely.
At the moment, I saw some small lag that was almost costly for Lorenzo. What do you think about that?
I must have been looking elsewhere. Did not register that on my side.
Okay, no worries.
But we see...
It will be awesome if we have a decisive lag that are compromising the whole race, so that we restart the race and make it an amazing show and a fair show for everyone. What do you think?
Okay, let's go with that. If we see a lag that will ruin or can change the outcome of the race, then the race will be resailed. Let's say that way. So far, we have the 2 Germans behind Pimpi, slowing her down by almost a knot, and Lorenzo is going to come in, Lorenzo being the boat named 42. And is going to try to break this German formation. But the Germans focusing on Pimpi. And, well, in a 2v2, the winning combo is basically not arriving last.
Yeah.
Well, arriving last is going to guarantee the loss. And to guarantee the win, you're going to have second and third or first and second.
Yeah.
And this
I
is what the
believe
Germans currently have.
Lorenzo is trying to protect Pimpy so she can take the first one and then give a penalty just before the finish of the leg, like this. Done. And let's go and get the third position.
A great move here by 42 on sailing me, penalizing the German boat. And then focusing on Christina and Gato Miao. Hi all, ciao Oscar, ciao Alberto. Nice to see you in there, Gato.
Ciao gatto. Ciao gatto. So Pimpy, let's see if she do a mark trap on Christina or she's running away. She's going for a run. Christina doing the same.
Yeah.
And to be honest, Christina is the first time she's doing this new end course race. So let's see how she can do. I will say we restart here. What do you think?
Lag? Was that not just a misinput?
Seems a lag here.
Well, that's the team, so that was. But Pimpy and 42, the first ones to reach the upwind mark, and is that a touching the mark for 42? That's going to penalize him for 10 seconds. Rule 31.
Yeah.
And foiled one is going to predict a 7-0 in favor of Italy.
It's tough. At the moment, that lag, let's see what we could do. At the moment, we have Lorenzo and Pimpy in the lead. Let's see what's happening at the moment. But at the moment, we have Pimpy M42 in the lead, third position for Christina, fourth position for Sailing Me.
And well, that was well played by the Italians. We'll see how the Germans respond to that. The Germans so far have only won one of their matches, lost 3 of them, so they're hoping for another win to get a more comfortable position in the knockout stages. But as you can see the score right now on your screen, it's going to be 1 and 2 for the Italians, 3 and 4 for the Germans, giving this first round to the Italians and on to the next race. Or are we restarting this one?
I want to double check with Andy.
Okay.
For the captain of the. At the moment, we start for race number 2, and then in case we will resail this race before, okay?
Okay. So we're continuing on with race number 2 in the 3v3 ILCA.
What we can say about this boat, Oscar?
The ILCA is a very maneuverable boat. Quite slow in the upwind. It has a very efficient downwind if you can catch someone in your downwind. And I think most of the battle or most of the tactics are going to be close to the star, in the sense that the downwind is really going to make the difference. Well, the bigger difference at least. And yeah, it's also an Olympic boat, so we've seen that boat quite often this year with the Paris 2024 event, for example.
Yep. 37 seconds to the start. Someone is really, really far. Want to have a port start. The line is really, really small.
Yeah, port start is going to be risky. They gotta be careful with that penalty start. Penalty start is still active. And what is a penalty start is basically you're taking a penalty But between T minus 14 and T minus 3 seconds, and while in that penalty, you take another. That is going to add another 10-second slowdown if you cross the line on port tack. But that was Luka Kozlovic who tried the pin and start, and that was a good start by him.
Both ESG and
card.
FIV Rock with a pen start.
Yep.
Okay, we have the German in the lead with Andy, the captain, in the lead of the race, but the other two, Secret Sailor and 777, are a little bit behind. Secret Sailing, sorry, and in that way, it's kind of tough to understand what's going to happen because at this moment is a victory for Italy.
Yep, and the wind that shakes the sea. Thank you for the follow. Nice to see you joining us. And so a 3v3 winning combo is having a 1 and 2 or a 1 and 3.
Yeah.
And if you have a 2v3, you want to stay away from that 6th position. Basically, you want 10 points or less to win the round.
Absolutely. At the moment, though, Italian have 9 points. Germany have 12. GER7 need to do something. Let's see when he's going to do something. If he's doing a mark trap over there.
Well, he's going to be the first one to enter this mark zone. He's going to be in front of the 3 Italians. And looks like he is going to go opt for a mark trap, easing his sails, forcing Amos to take the penalty here. And he's going to try to apply it as well on Luka Kozlovic, but takes the penalty instead, and that's going to be 2 Germans in front of him, and FIV Rock taking that opportunity to stay on top of him and block him from there. Now it's going to be reversed, and FIV Rock is going to try to do the mark trap and slow these Germans down to give as much as a free space to his 2 teammates in front, putting a penalty on GER7, the captain, but ESG777 managing to escape.
Yep.
And well, with this, with 21, almost 22 knots of wind currently in this wind pressure, these boats are going to go very fast, so it's going to be hard to catch up the Italians in front.
Mm-hmm. At the moment, I believe only some big act of God can change the results of this race. That Italy played amazingly in the start, having a penalty for ESG, and that one was really, really hurtful. Look at here the battle between GER7 and ESG 777.
FIV Rock takes the penalty as he tries to dodge GER7 and takes ESG 777 instead. The Italian in last place, but he still have his 2 teammates in 1 and 2, which is still the winning combo, and they're still quite far ahead.
At the moment, you will see the last 2 Italian go for the last upwind leg, and ESG Secret Sailing try to catch them, but the distance is considerable. Actually, Amos Di Benedetto slowing him down and going on with and helping Luka Kozlovic to be more safe over ESG Secrets.
Yeah, the Italians just need to sail it safe right now, and that's going to be a win for them.
Yeah. At the moment, Italians in the lead, and everything happened from the was a master class of team racing from the Italian, with Amos Di Benedetto and Luka Kozlovic in the lead, FIV Rock to stop them and making sure that they are not doing anything to make sure they are in the lead and getting the victory. Also, FIV Rock get the 4th position, probably even the 3rd here, by getting the right wing shift and 1, 2, 3 Italy for this second match.
That is well played by the Italians again. Coming back to their former glory, we did see them struggle a bit. Maybe I think it was against Sweden, where it was 4-3 for the Italians. They still got the win, but they had a couple of rough races, and also against the Japanese, losing against them.
Yeah, definitely. We saw plenty of nice races done by the Italian, and this one only a 7-0 or a 6-1 actually count for the Italian, because everything else it will be damaged.
And the N-shaped course. This time we have a boat with a speed, so it's going to be fast in the downwind. It's well, the J72 is one of the favorite boats in the community. We all know that. It's a very well balanced boat, very maneuverable as well. So we're going to see some nice battle, I think.
Yeah.
And 35 seconds till start. Players lining up on the start line, or getting close at least. And let's talk maybe a bit about the roster. 42 is back on the Italian squad. Luka Kozlovic is back on the Italian squad. Amos Di Benedetto, same. FIV Rock, same. It's a very strong Italian side for this race. Slider Klaus, Adrian, Sailing Me, and ESG 777. Some good names for the German squad as well. This is going to be an interesting race, but we do see a good start by 42 and Luka Kozlovic. Fairly good start by the Germans as well, and there's only Amos Di Benedetto who had a hiccup for the start, taking a penalty and slowing down because of it.
Yeah. At the moment, I believe the Italians have a slightly lead, but everything here can be really, really costly. There is a right shift coming that can change everything, and that one is a game changer. Also, another left wing shift is coming, so it is really, really cryptic to understand who is going to take the lead in this race number 3.
All according to the ranking on the left, Lukia is in first, Amos in third, FIV Rock in fourth, and 42 in sixth. So it does look like the Italians have the advantage. But ESG 777 is in front of 2 Italians, and if he can do a decent mark trap, 3 Italians now. If he can do a decent mark trap, he can do some damage for sure. And with
absolutely.
the 4v4 winning combo is Well, 1 and 2, not 7 8s, basically, if you have the first and second place. You want 18 points or less?
Yeah, correct. And if you have 18 points, if you have the first, you're going to lose. So, you know, in this case, it's kind of tricky, especially because at this moment, Italy has 17 points. It's not that far. 17/18 kind of thing.
Yeah, and we have 2 Italians getting into the mark zone first, followed by the 2 Germans sailing the ESG 777. Luka Kozlovic is going to come in hot next to Adrian. Adrian passes in
The
front
most
of him, and we
important,
have
the most important thing is Amos keeping Slider Klaus far away.
this is what he's doing.
So, yeah. So the German cannot make Italian being 7-8. Even if in the back we have a big battle between Lorenzo 42 and Sailing Me. So Italian are actually fighting for not losing their second position, and Peter Jim and Sailing Me are doing their best to block them.
Yeah, each on either side of Lorenzo of 42, so if he wants to go right, he's going to have Sailing Me on him, and if he goes left, he's going to have ESG 777 on him as well.
Yeah.
They're going to try to nail down 42, is going to have to do his best to shake them off.
Yeah.
Slider, Klaus, and Amos are still fighting for that 7 and 8 position. The Germans also need to push Luka Kozlovic a bit further back, just for extra safety. As we see these two dueling over here.
Yeah. At the moment, Lorenzo is making a trap for his opponent. But still, Luka Kozlovic managed to get the third position, and even with Amos getting the last position. Ooh, penalty for Lorenzo, penalty for the German.
And a missed mark by ESG 777.
Even for Lorenzo.
Even for Fernando, yep, indeed. Well, that was a random shake.
Yep.
But still 1 and 2 for the Italians, and they've managed to steer away from a bit from that 7 and 8s. But Amos
Yep.
and Slider Klaus are still on the downwind. Amos doing a really good job of slowing Slider Klaus down.
At the moment, Italian with 1 and 2. Amos Di Benedetto with this match again alone against Slider Klaus managed to split the things and give the victory to the Italians.
Yep, and I missed a couple of follows. Xico Cabral and Theo9926. Thank you for the follow. Nice to see you guys in here. But 1-2-6-8 for the Italians is going to give the win to the Italians if they manage to stick to that. The Germans are going to have to focus on 42 quite quickly if they want to push him into a 7 position and help out their teammates Letterclass. Because pushing 42 and Amos in 7 and 8 is the only option for them to win this round.
Yeah. Penalty for Lorenzo, but it's a good tactic done a little bit too late for the sake of the race. After the end of this race, can we put one? Can we put the music for like 1 minute?
Yep.
Thank you.
So we'll have a quick break after this race, see with the teams how we will continue on with the match. But 1 and 2 confirmed for FIV Rock and Luka Kozlovic, 3 and 4 for the Germans, 5, 4, 42, 6 for Sailing Me, and Amos is going to arrive in 7 in front of Slider Klaus, giving this round to the Italians again, as we're going to discuss in the back with the captains.
Yep.
And confirmation on the score on your screen. We will take a quick breather to discuss with the captains, and we'll be right back.
Let's go. Let's see the roster. We have La Gatta Nuda, Il Moro di Napoli, Tommy Tamle, Fabio, Zach, and Charizard for the Italian. The la creme de la creme, the most old and experienced sailors for Italy, with the new entry of Fabio Zach for the offshore boat. Charizard, La Gatta Nuda, Tommy Tumble, Moro di Napoli have been playing the game for so long. They know the offshore since it was born. What you can tell us for the German?
Well, for the German, we have Adrian Knud, 34, Paradicus, Slider Klaus, and Ahab 007. So we've seen these players already several times in the Nations Cup. Paradicus, a new recruit for their Nations Cup team. We didn't see them in the previous editions, but they have joined them for this edition. Sometimes playing for the mixed race as well, and it's good to see her in there. Adrian Knut 34. Well, we've seen them already several times. Knut 34. I think one of the OGs for the Germans. I feel like I've seen this name for a long time. And Ahab 007, Slider Klaus, we've seen him just in the race before. And we see a penalty start here on one of the Italians for Fabio Zach.
Yeah.
And
But on the left-hand side, there is a penalty for Knut.
Yep. Penalty for Knud from Tommy Tamble. And
Yep.
with the offshore racer, it's a very long boat. You have the bowsprit in front, so you got to be careful with when you maneuver, because you're going to take a lot of space, even though this boat is surprisingly maneuverable for its size.
Yeah. And Fabio Zacchi is already back into the big game, even with a penalty start. So this is a good news for the Italian that do not have the last that is too far away.
Yeah, and watch out for friendly fire between the two Germans over here at the crossing, and they do well to avoid it. But the Italians coming in from starboard with who was that? Was that Sherazad putting the penalty on Adrian? And we have 3 Italians in front.
Yeah.
But Adrian managing to stay on top of Charizard. But taking a friendly fire from the teammate over there. That's what happened with the offshore racer as well. There's it doesn't slow down too much. It doesn't take off too much either. So a penalty will slow you down, obviously, but it's not gonna ruin your race like it can with other faster boats, with the F50, for example, Macro 17 or 49er, where taking the penalty is really costly and you're gonna lose a lot of places. With the offshore racer, you can still hope to come back quite efficiently after a penalty. But it's going to be
So
hard to
the
take off.
moment though is a victory for Germany. So we Italians need to be careful about this race, because the points are really close. Is the first one is 27 is winning, 28 is losing. At the moment, Italy is 27. Yeah. So really tough. 1 point of difference. Before we're 30. So it's kind of difficult to predict what is going to happen.
Yeah, that's the races we like. Keep us on our toes until the very end as Adrian takes the penalty here from Charizard. Still the duel between these two players. And Lagatanuda is pretty comfortable in first place. No one to disturb him too much. He's going to be able to round the mark fairly easily and continue on with his race. But we do have Slider Cross, Paradicus, and Ahab behind Moro di Napoli. And if they can get
At
to
the
him,
moment is being hunted, but actually he managed to give Fabio Zacca managed to give a penalty to Adrian, freeing Charizard, putting himself at risk now against Knud, but this will be a tough one.
yeah, 1 and 2
1-2 for the Italian.
is good for them. They need to be
1
careful
2
with
5.
these.
Yeah, 1 2 5 is always a winning combo. So you need to make sure that your third player is in the 5th position, and then
That is the
you
case
are
for
good to
Tommy
go.
Tamble. That was the case for Tommy Tamble, but as we're saying that, he just took 6th place, but it's going to shift. It's going to change again with the wind shifts, with the tax and all of that. So he's going to be fighting for 5th place with Paradicus and Ahab 007. It's still quite tight at the back.
Yeah, it's not finished this race. We have the possibility for Piaticus and Slider Class to do something, but they need to be more effective at the moment. They need to give more penalty. They need to give penalty to Charizard. They need to give penalty to Tommy Tumble. But seems nothing has
Tamble
happened
is
yet.
going to cross pass with Paradicus, manages to dodge her very well, and sorry, that wasn't Paradicus, that was Slider Klaus. Paradicus is going to cross the finish line. Tommy Tamble as well in 5th. And well, the Italians have 1, 2, 4, which is going to be a winning combo. So round number 4 goes to Italy. So they have taken the win, and can they transform that into a decisive win? We'll see that with the next few races. But confirmation of the score. On your screen.
And then we have the 9v9 with the 49er. An amazing race here. This one is one of the most difficult race for both sailors and commentator alike to make the live event, because a lot of things happen as they're super fast boat with a lot of wind. It's a tough battle to make sure that everybody understands who is in the lead and who is actually needed to stop themselves to make sure that the points are correct to let you win. Remember, the first one that is the one that is under 85 is going to win the race. Single race counts, because having a 5-2 is bad for Italy. Having a 6-1 is still bad for Italy. They need to have the 7-0 if they want to be in the lead without the possibility of the Japanese to catch up. To be honest, I see the after the win like 7-0 for Italy against France. Even if all the other races were massive wins, I'm not sure. I do not remember how they work, but I think the first things that we're looking are probably we're looking at victory. Actually, I have to check.
Yeah, we'll have to go into the details of
the
all of
ties.
that.
When is time? When is time? 30
But that means
seconds to go.
that we'll have no teams doing a Grand Slam in the round robin stage. Every team would have lost at least one match.
Yeah, and that's what is amazing about this year's Nations Cup.
Yep, and well, 12 seconds to go. Boats getting close to the start line. It's going to be a very fast race. It's going to be a very hectic race. Closer to team racing, we said that already is getting 9v9. It's hard to predict and confirm some winning combos or get some losing combos. We get out of bounds, no, not out of bounds, a false start from 3 Germans. We're just going to put them in a difficult spot.
Especially because there were 2 penalties at the start. So it's like 6 German in the back, I believe. And that is super painful for the German.
Yeah, that means that the Germans in the front are going to have to do some work by slowing down the Italians next to them and helping each other out, because that's going to be the only way for them to get some more chances to win this round. With the 9v9, I don't know if it's actually easier or it's harder for the teams to win this match or not.
Well, what do you mean?
As in, is it because it's closer to fleet racing? So if you know you have good fleet racers, is it actually easier to win a 9v9, or is it actually easier even if to win like a 2v2s or 3v3s with some?
The biggest problem about having the fleet racer is they do not know how to give penalty normally, most of the time. So in this case, having a pure fleet racers that Italy has plenty of them, it's always super risky. It's always they do not allow you to have the plan B. For example, Moro di Napoli, amazing fleet racers. He's not skilled in giving penalty. So in that case, being him in the front of the race, if he will be the only one, will be difficult for Italy to come back, rather than if he's like, I don't know, see you later in the front. That is a brawler. He can give a lot of penalty really, really fast. It's easier for a comeback.
Unfortunate for the Germans, as there was some friendly fire here between Paraticus and Ahab 007 as they were rounding the mark. Paraticus is going to lose a couple of places and a penalty here on Knud as well, hopefully given by an Italian and not by a teammate.
And this is another harder part of the 9v9, is you need to remember that friendly fire is not only from the pawn, but is it can cost you a race. And then, so if you see someone with a different boat than yours, give them a penalty. If you see someone with the same boat as yours, avoid him like hell.
Yeah. And that's the secret for this team race over here. If you can't create some winning combos like you can with the 2v2, 3v3s, 4v4s, and all of these, definitely do what you just said. Penalize your opponents, help your allies. And well, it's looking good for the Italians again.
Yep.
Koig 1994, I don't see Germany winning any matchup, to be honest. Well, they did already win one of their games, so they can do it again. And if it's not this one, they still have one more game to go versus Sweden tomorrow.
Yeah. So an interesting question from RG: are they allowed to use Discord? Actually, we actually created a channel for them so they can discuss it, because this one, for example, is a chaos. It's really, really hard. You need to communicate to make sure. To make sure that you do not give penalty to your friends, or you tuck in the right moment. And we are speaking about the frenetic races here. All the races are like lasting like 10 seconds. They would like 10 minutes, considering everything. So racing time, starting time, plus waiting time between the matches. So in that way, we are speaking about a really, really fast race, really, really tough race where communication is the key.
Yeah, so
and we encourage that.
It's not that voice chat is allowed; it's voice chat is encouraged for the teams, because they need to speak to each other. They need to know what they're doing, what they're planning, so that they can do the best that they can. And would 9 people use voice chat together? Well, we see the Germans currently all in their own voice chat, the one that was provided by us, and the Italians likely have their own on their server.
Yep.
But I guess it depends how the teams organize. I know some teams have like some strategists which are going to take like the lead into organizing what player does what and everything. So with 9 people, having 9 people talking at the same time can be kind of hectic. But then this is where practice comes in, where if you do enough training together with your team, you're gonna know without necessarily having to speak, and you're gonna know when to speak and when not to speak as well. So.
And it's a part of the difficulties that Italian were facing, like who is going to speak, when he's going to speak, which information we are communicating, and they train a lot on how to give information in an effective way. So most of the training they did are not how to sail the team race, but is actually how to communicate effectively without saying anything important or without causing disruptions.
So I think it would be interesting, maybe for future events like the eSailing Nations Cup, to have a sneak peek in the team's voice chat, see what's happening behind the scenes of a race.
Yeah, I think we should go and listen to that, but always better to have their consent before.
Or maybe some of the teams are able to like record their races, and you can have their POV for the matches. But this is the end of the 9v9 confirmation of the ranking on your screen over here, and we have a lot of Italians in the top 10.
Yep. Yeah, this one was definitely a win for the Italian. Amazing start. A lot of people starting early for the German. That one was really, really what killed their early strategy. They had the possibility to come back some of the penalty were difficult to. They tried to give them a penalty. It's not easy with the boat so fast. So they lose the top position, the German, and they never come back to the position that really count.
That's what happens
For
with fast boats like that. The slightest penalty can have a huge impact for the rest of the race.
Yeah. But right now, we need to go back to the next match, that is the 3v3, race 6. And where we have Lorenzo, Tommy Tumble, and Pimpy, remember 3v3 mixed, against Christina, Secret Sailing, and the captain, GER.
And so far it is 5-0 for the Italians. If they can get this win as well, it's going to be a decisive win for them, giving them the 4 points.
Yeah. This one will be an interesting start because a massive left wing shift is coming just before the start. So probably both will start on the pin end, and then we'll tack as soon as possible. Maybe even they start on the race committee, tack as soon as possible, and then going to the right wing shift that is coming just after that. So, tricky one.
There would be so much cursing in the team voice chat. Malaka this, Malaka that, says Chris1707D. I think you're putting your finger on something there. I think I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case.
It depends if Velista 71 is in the race. Yes.
Well, 10 seconds to go in this race number 6 between Italy and Germany. It's going to be the 3v3 mixed J70 race. So we're back with the J70. We're back on the N-shaped course. So upwind, downwind, upwind finish.
Yeah.
And out is the start. 42 coming to a almost full start over here, face to wind.
Yeah. Problem for Lorenzo that during the attack he was blocked. Good start for the German.
Yeah.
Even if Lorenzo didn't have that issue, missing start for the German, penalty on Tommy Tumble, and that one was I think that can kill you. Christina take the penalty like 8 seconds from the start, so in 1 second after the start she was free. She's not in the best position, but she's still fighting against Lorenzo and keeping him behind.
And Lorenzo's doing a good job of slowing her down.
Yeah, so it is a pimpy moment now to check against
Secret
ESG, Secret Sailing.
The pimpy moment. What is she gonna do for us? But that was a good start from the Germans. You already said, and that could, if they can keep at it and keep their advantage here, that could be their first win. And I'm not jinxing it in any way.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Secret Sailing and GER7 are the first two to reach the mark. Remember, in a 3v3, it's going to be a 1-2 or 1-3 winning position over there. There's been a little miscommunication here with GER7 and Secret Sailing, where GER7 pushed Secret Sailing a bit too much face to wind. That slowed him down quite a bit. But now it's going to be a 1-2-3 for the Germans. And they just need a 1-2 or a 1-3 to win the race. So they got to go fast. They got to confirm these first 2 spots. Doesn't matter for the third player if he finishes last or not, as long as they can get the first 2.
But that's why Tommy is going full speed over there.
And Christina
and
trying
get
to mark
the
trap.
third position.
She slowed Tommy a bit. She's going to attack Pimpy, putting the penalty on Pimpy, and let's see if she focuses to another target after that. Try to ping pong between the Italian players. ESG 777, is he out of Tommy Tamble's wind shadow? He is not. He's going at 8.3 knots, while Tommy Tamble was going, I think, at 9 when I was looking at him, when I first looked at him, but now has been slowed down by, well, his teammate Pimpy and Christina.
But you're not focusing on the one thing that is going to that is happening.
And
Lorenzo is going at 10
42.
knots.
Yep.
Yeah.
42 secretly
He's-
on the left of the right course over here, not doing any noise, not bringing any attention to him. He's alone over there, and he's going to try to catch up as much as he can, getting this wind pressure and trying to catch up with these first two Germans, GER 7 and Secret Sailing.
Yeah.
Well, Christina took the penalty from the Italians at the back, but she is still in a wind shadow reach, so she can still try to slow them down and help her teammates out. GER 7 is in a pretty good spot. Secret Sailing might be in a dangerous position here, with 42 not far away, but if he can remain calm and sail his course in a good way,
Yeah.
it should be fine for him. Just watch out with the friendly fire and don't slow your teammates down.
I believe, exactly like before, if there is not a knuckle of a god, the Germany can get their first point against Italy.
And while touching wood for them, it
Yeah.
will happen. Christina S taking another penalty from Pimpy this time.
Forty-two actually gaining some meters here. Let's see if he can manage. Amazing move by Tommy.
Yeah. So the Germans aren't splitting, they're going on the same direction, and 42 is going to attack and tack on the middle. I think he's likely going to try to lure one of the two Germans to keep covering him and slow down so that his teammates can maybe catch up. That's also a move that can be done. Hopefully I'm not spoiling his strategy for him. But the Germans, let's remind it, they just need a 1 and 2 or a 1 and 3. And they currently have 1 and 2.
Yep.
So it's not over yet. They still need to work for it. As we see Tommy Tamble taking the 3rd place over here, and he went to the left and is going to align himself with the finish line so he can just have one straight line towards the finish line. But it's going to be hard to catch up GER 7. What about Secret Sailing? Is Secret Sailing?
No, I believe at the moment is so far away. So congratulations to Germany for their first point here.
Yeah, and that was very well played by them. A nice start, some good penalties at the start as well, and then managing to keep their position during the downwind and then during the upwind. So very well played by them. 5-1 for the Germans, or for the Italians, but this round goes to the Germans. And we'll go on with the last race of the match very soon.
Yeah.
Which is going to be very exciting and very hectic.
Yep. F50 4v4.
And here you have the score confirmation on your screen. 1, 2, and 6 for the Germans. 3, 4, 5 for the Italians.
Yeah. Let's see the roster for this last race. I totally agree with you. There is only one thing that I want to make sure our people listening that know. even if the tactic is the same, the technique is completely different. On the older course, you can put yourself in the corner, wait for 17 seconds to the start, and then start at full speed in on the racing area. Rather than here, it's better if you do not start from a stop position. So in that way, you are actually coming toward the boundary at a really fast speed, and then you jibe, and then you start back again. So you actually arrive at full speed to the starting line.
And that's the trickiest part with the F50. The start is really a big decider for the rest of the race. More than the other races, I'm going to say. Or more than the other boats.
Yeah.
And
especially because this boat always accelerate. So
yep.
That's the issue.
This is one of the boats that can go faster to the wind, so you will see a boat speed superior to the wind speed that you can see at the top left next to the minimap in 2 seconds to go. Watch out for the false starts. A great start by ESG 777. Penalty on GER 7 given by FIV Rock. A good start by Mauro Di Napoli as well, but he's on the outside, but with enough speed to pass in front of ESG 777 at that first mark. Watch out with Dragan Martini and Luka Kozlovic both managed to pass safely. And I think this is one of the most balanced start we've seen with the F50 in a while in the eSailing Nations Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. And almost no penalty. I saw just one, right?
Yeah.
FIV Rock tried the mark trap against the Piraticus and GER 7 without success. And this one is actually 7 and 8 for the Germany is definitely always a loss, because even 1 and 2 cannot guarantee you the victory. So
yeah.
FIV Rock is doing an amazing job of blocking the Piraticus and GER 7 in the back.
And that's one of the tricky parts with the team racing, is that you don't necessarily need to focus on the first place. You sometimes need to focus on the last place. Unlike team racing, where you're still focusing on going as fast as you can to get that first place.
Yeah.
But as you said, 7 and 8 is a losing combo in a 4v4. So ESG 77 did the right thing to put a penalty on Luka Kozlovic. That's going to slow him down for a bit. Not going to be enough for the overtake, but it's going to bring his teammates much closer to the rest of the fleet.
Yeah, let's see what FIV Rock is doing to keep them behind. Because ESG 77 and Dragoni Martini, they started to give penalties to make sure that they close the gap with JL77. So in that way, they can close the.
Yep. Indeed, we have
race.
Both Italians going on the left mark over here, and the 2 Germans are going to follow. And onto this downwind, we're going to have another upwind, then is going to be half a downwind and to a reaching finish for the end of this course. So far, the advantage is for the Italians.
Yeah. At the moment, the Italians are doing 15 points, and with 18, you're going to win. So. At the moment, looking bright for the Italian, looking for the decisive win. Not the best they could hope, because the 7-0 will give them a good lead on the points, on the difference, and only a 7-0 next can tie them up with the Japanese, if the Japanese are doing a 7-0 against their last opponents.
Yeah, it's going to be Japan versus Sweden for the Japanese's last match. It's going to be the last match for the Swedish as well. So a long line for this match, yeah. Because Sweden played very well against Italy, I think it was.
Yeah. The finish actually 4-3.
Yep. And well, we've seen the Germans lose a couple of places here. It is now a 1-2-3 in favor of Italy, with just a 5e rock out of that 4th spot, and Dragon Martini is the only one on the, well, in front of an Italian.
Yeah.
And it was a nice, smooth, clean race from already Napoli, who did a great start. No penalties for him whatsoever, no penalties given to no one. He just sailed his race, arriving first. DGL77, sorry, is gonna follow, and so is Luka Kozovic. Dragon Martini slowing down a bit at the mark rounding, but managing to speed up after that. But it looks like it's going to be a 1-2-3 guaranteed for the Italians. And that 4th place is likely going to go in F5E Rock's favor. He's in the wind pressure. He has more winds going faster than Dragon Martini by 4 knots.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, yep. 1, 2, 3, 4 for the Italians. Well played by them. Well fought for the Germans.
Yep.
And that makes it a 6-1 in favor of Italy, giving them the decisive win. And confirmation.
I know you're amazing, and it's coming right up.
Yep, RG Tyler, when it rains, it pours. Well done, Italy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that expression. Just learned a new expression.
Yeah, that's a really nice one.
But 6-1 for Italy versus Germany. Well done to the Italians. So a decisive win for them. That's going to add 4 points to their tally, getting them 1 step closer to draw with the French at 20 points. And then it's going to be some tie breaks that we're going to have to calculate and do if it ever happens. But we're going to talk a bit about
the. It will happen.
Don't jinx it. We will talk a bit about the next match, which is going to be Germany versus Sweden. So we'll find the Germans again versus the Swedes tomorrow. And while we talk about the next match, I'm going to do the standings so we can have one last look at the updating standing. Are the current standings. So France still in the lead with 20 points. Japan in second with 16 points, tied with Italy with 16 points as well. Why is Japan above Italy? Well, because Japan won against Italy in their matchup. But they're tied at every level otherwise. Poland in 4th with 14 points. Sweden in 5th with 9 points. And Germany in 6th with 8 points. Sweden in 7th with 7 points. So the race is on between Japan and Italy, and we'll see first Germany versus Sweden tomorrow, as you just said, at was that 8 p.m. UTC?
Yep.
Same on this.
And it'll be the last
tune in.
Yep. Last race for the Germany.
Last race for the Germans,
and then we are missing 2 more matches, right? That are Japan against. So
we have Japan versus Sweden on Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. UTC. Mm-hmm. And on the same day, Sunday, we have Italy versus Switzerland at I think it was 8 p.m. UTC as well. Let me just confirm that.
Yep. So Japan has as his last race one of the toughest opponents. For example, tomorrow, if we'll see a decisive win for the Swedish, they will go 13 points, and then they are 1 point away from tying up with Poland with a decisive win against Germany and a narrow loss against Japan. They can be the 4th team, and give you the moral advantage, even if the 4th is going to fight against the 5th. So on that point, it's not really changing a lot.
On Sunday evening, we will therefore have the final standings for this round-robin stage, giving us the seeding for the knockout stages. So first is going to get a bye onto straight to the semifinals, while the rest are going to go head-to-head in the quarterfinals to qualify for the semifinals, and all of that will be happening the week after the grand final. So next weekend is going to be the eSailing World Championship grand final, and it's going to be the week after that where we start the knockout stages for the eSailing Nations Cup. All of that culminating on the 8th of December with the grand final of the eSailing Nations Cup.
And the petit final also.
And the bronze final as well, yeah, indeed. Well, I guess it's time for us to wrap it up.
Yep. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, don't forget to tune in for tomorrow, 16 November at 8 p.m. UTC for Germany versus Sweden. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for watching. And, well, this was Oscar and Alberto, your hosts. And we'll see you all next time.
See you. Bye.
Bye.